Hi guys, welcome to today's session. I hope all of you are doing good and thank you all for your responses on yesterday. Our yesterday's quiz question was to name which is the largest parliamentary committee in terms of number of members. So it is the Estimates Committee. It is the largest committee of the parliament having 30 members and all members of this committee are from Lok Sabha. The Rajya Sabha has no representation in this committee. So that is the answer. Now we'll move to today's session. First question for the day. With reference to members of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme MPLADS, consider the following statements. Statement 1. It is a planned scheme fully funded by Government of India. Statement 2. The annual MPLADS fund entitlement per MP per constituency is rupees 1 crore. And statement 3. The funds released under the scheme are non-lapsable. Which of the above statements is correct? Option A 1 and 2 only, option B 2 and 3 only, option C 1 and 3 only, and option D 1, 2 and 3. So the correct answer here is it is option C 1 and 3 only. Guys, we are talking about MPLADS scheme. It is a major scheme for development in the country. Recently, the Union Cabinet declared a 2-year suspension of MPLADS scheme. The reason that they have given is amount saved can go to Consolidated Fund of India to fight COVID-19. Now let's look into the background of this scheme. It was launched in December 1993 and this scheme was aimed to, as we said earlier, to bring development across India. And you might have seen many times that a particular project is funded by so and so MP, maybe a bus waiting shed or a school laboratory or such kind of project. So that is being funded from MPLAD fund. So it is not that MP is paying from his salary or asset, it is a separate fund. And the parent body of this scheme was Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. And the funds are rupees 5 crore per annum per MP. It is not 1 crore. And this fund is non-lapsable, can utilize it for next year if the amount is pending. And funds are released in the form of grants in aid directly to the district authorities. MPs have only recommendatory role in this. The district authority is empowered to examine the eligibility of works, select the implementing agencies and to monitor it. So that are the duties of district authority. And there are certain criticisms against this scheme. First criticism is that it is against separation of powers. It allows individual legislatures to encroach on the executive role of planning and implementation works. See, even though the authority is with district administration, MPs do involve in every stage. That is theoretically against separation of powers. And second criticism is that it promotes patronage politics. As it is the will of the MP to decide where to spend this fund, obviously this will create patronage politics. Ultimately, politicians need vote for next election. So it is obvious in that. And third criticism is inefficiency of this scheme. There is a gap between recommendation made by MPs and implementation by district administration. There are unused funds, accountability issue. Such kind of allegations are there about the scheme. And even the second ARC recommended the abrogation of this scheme altogether. It highlighted the problems of legislator stepping into shoes of executive. Now government suspended it for 2 years, saying that it frees up financial resources of about 7,900 crores. It will boost the funding available for COVID-19 fight. The funds can be spent on boosting the health infrastructure needed to combat the pandemic, and this money will go into Consolidated Fund of India and will be spent based on assessment of varying needs in different regions of India. Here the issue is with the opposition parties, MPs. As we play party politics in India, such regions which is represented by opposition parties likely to be neglected by the ruling party. So there were protests on this. To know about this in detail, we have done a video in our channel about MPLADS. I'll share the link of that video in the comment section. Please do watch. We will now move to second question. Second question is with reference to cess in India. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. A cess is levied on the tax payable and not on the taxable income. Statement 2. A cess can be levied on both direct and indirect taxes. And statement 3, the proceeds of all taxes and cesses are credited in the Consolidated Fund of India. Which of the above statements is correct? Option A 1 only, Option B 2 and 3 only, option C 1 and 3 only, and option D 1, 2 and 3. So guys, the correct answer here is it is option D 1, 2 and 3. So guys, cess is levied on tax payable and not on taxable income. For example, let's assume that an individual has an income of 8 lakh rupees and his tax liability is 85,000 rupees, which means for 8 lakh rupees of income, he has to pay 85,000 rupees as tax. So in addition to this 85,000 rupees, he will have to pay 3% education cess on the amount, which is imposed by the government. And this 3% is of 3% of 85,000 rupees, not 3% of 8 lakh rupees. So that is meant by cess is levied on tax payable and not on the taxable income. Alright. So cess is a form of tax charged or levied over and above the base tax liability of a taxpayer, and cess is usually imposed additionally when the state or central government looks to raise funds for specific purposes. For example, the government levies an education cess to generate additional revenue for funding primary, secondary and higher education. Here the major difference between tax, surcharge and cess is that in cess we know where this money is going to be. For example, if it is Swachh Bharat cess, it will be utilized for Swachh Bharat initiative. So the purpose of the fund is known to the payee. And remember, cess is not a permanent source of revenue for the government. It is discontinued when the purpose of levying is fulfilled, and it can be levied on both indirect and direct taxes. And the proceeds of all tax and cesses are credited in the Consolidated Fund of India. The approval of Parliament is necessary to withdraw funds from Consolidated Fund of India. And remember, the tax proceeds are shared with the states and union territories according to the guidelines by the Finance Commission, but the cess proceeds need not be shared with the states and UTs. And guys, our today's quiz question is very simple one. Name the cess in India which is collected for improvement of agriculture and welfare of farmers. So which cess is that? Please post your answers in the comment section. We'll now move to last question for the day. Last question is Kurzarbeit scheme recently seen in the news is related to option A short time work allowance in Germany, option B COVID-19 handling initiative in France, option C it is a joint initiative by India and Israel for the development of science education in India, and option D river cleaning initiative by Netherlands. So the correct answer here is it is option A short time work allowance in Germany. As we said, it is a scheme in Germany. The purpose of the scheme is to compensate for lost earnings during uncertain economic conditions, and the term Kurzarbeit actually means short work. The scheme was initiated at the time of 2008 economic crisis. Here what government does is government compensate for wage loss, typically covers 60% of lost net wages. So this will be helpful to people. This was in news related with COVID crisis. Due to lockdown in Germany, there were many people who lost their jobs and also people who lost their wages. So government compensated this under Kurzarbeit scheme. So this is a good model to other countries also. That's all for today guys. We'll meet tomorrow with another set of questions. Please post answer to the quiz question and your scores in the comment section. Thank you for watching.